Yes, sir.
Hill Kings Podcast.
My hands smell like wood.
Wrong again.
My hands smell like wood right now, Chris.
Would
I was building
would
a
or
deck.
would or would not?
I definitely would, and I definitely did, and I'm
Yeah.
building a deck, and
You
that's why
said
I'm late.
you said did and then you said building. Did implies it's done.
It's
Ing
mostly
implies
did.
it's still okay, so it's not done
It's
yet.
in. It's on progress.
Okay, folks. Brad has
You-
not successfully built a deck yet. Don't get
Tune
excited
in.
for him.
Tune in next week.
Cool.
To see if Brad finished building a deck
He's
or
not
chopped off an
technically done.
appendage. Because I bought a
Yes.
saw,
Yeah, dude.
and I did see.
He brought a chop saw. He bought a chop saw. It's nice.
It's a miter saw.
A miter saw. Pardon me.
Yeah, get it right.
Pardon my
Get it
French.
right.
Was that DeWalt?
It is a DeWalt.
Yeah.
I believe it's an SW710.
Wow.
I'll correct
DeWalt.
myself in the edit
Heck
because
yeah,
I
DeWalt.
could very well be wrong about that. But, you know,
Hit us
how
up
are
for
you?
sponsorships. I'm good,
How are
man.
you doing? How's
I'm a
the
little-
baby life?
He's chilling. He's currently not wanting to take a nap. But no, he's good. He's chilling. He's super good. He's yeah, we're having a lot of fun. He's super good. I'm a little sunburnt.
Hmm?
I just got a little ooh.
Wow. For the
Got a
audio
little-
listener, Chris is pulling out his ass right now, and it is bright red.
I'm just
He's
a little
got a red little monkey butt.
I'm a pink boy.
He's a little pink man where you on the sun,
I was
enjoying
burnt.
the nice.
I got burnt at the boondoggle, brother.
Oh yeah, you were boondoggling it.
I was boondoggling out there
Hell
in
yeah.
Central Arkansas. Hell yeah, brother. It was a lot of fun. It was just hot.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, dude. It was
Did it
nice.
sound anything like this out there?
21.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It actually did. They had a daytime, they had this little bluegrass group around Fayetteville
Nice.
called the Damn Neighbors.
Damn it, Bobby.
The damn neighbors were plucking strings out there at the boondoggle. They were pretty good. So I guess shout out to the damn neighbors out of
Well, speaking
Fayetteville.
of damn neighbors, this is a
Yes.
neighborly episode of
This
King of
is
the
a
Hill
neighborly
that we're here
episode.
to talk about this
Wow,
week.
great transition,
Thanks,
brother.
man. We've been
Season
doing this
2.
long enough that you know I know how to transition. This is the Hill Kings podcast. If you
Mhm.
forgot, welcome back.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about season 2, episode 8, The Sun That Got Away.
The Sun That Got Away aired on November 23rd, 1997.
It did.
Written by Judge Daniels and writing credits to Jim Dotrieve on this one. Chat about him a bit more in a minute, but this was directed by Wes Archer, you know
You
him,
love to
and
hear it.
also guest director Trisha Garcia.
Ooh, new
On
guest
this was,
director alert.
New guest. I think she's new. She does a couple episodes of King of the Hill. You'll like this gal, Tracy Garcia, Brad, if you're not up on her. She did 12 episodes of Hey Arnold. I know you're a Hey Arnold boy.
Hell yeah.
She was involved in 45
You know what
episodes
episodes?
of
You want to name them? Well,
I don't have that in front of me. I'm
Alright.
not that prepped.
I'll look it up later.
Yeah, she's also involved in 45 episodes of The Simpsons, as well as the Simpsons movie.
Ah,
And-
incestuous between The Simpsons
Mhm.
and King of the Hill, the Fox properties.
Yes, they're very incestuous. Speaking of the incestuous Fox properties, she was also involved in 38 episodes of The Cleveland Show.
Ah,
Were you a
never
Cleveland- you're a
really
Cleveland show
watched
guy?
it. No.
It was all right. It's
Yeah.
okay.
I'm not even really a Family Guy guy. I was for a time in my youth.
I
know?
definitely spent some time with Family Guy. Then I found American Dad and quickly switched over and became an American Dad man.
Yeah. I'm a
And
Bob's Burgers guy through and through.
um,
Nowadays, especially.
yeah, I know you love Bob's Burgers, which I guess now would be a nice time to talk about Jim Dotrieve, who's listed as the writer on one of this episodes. Jim Dotrieve is one of the co-executive producers of the show. You see his name in the credits quite a lot, but we haven't really talked as much about him as we have Judge and Daniels. But Jim Dotrieve is the last name inspiration for Bill
Yep.
on the show. Yep. Just in case you were wondering.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, but yeah, he's involved in I think all 203 episodes ish of the original
Shit.
run of King of the Hill. Jim Dotrieve is pretty heavy-handed there. I think he's got writing credits on like 29. So
He's got creds.
yep.
He
Shout out
got
to
cred.
we always talk about Judge and Daniels, but
Yeah, you got to give
Dotrieve.
props to the Jimbo.
And then of course always props to for Johnny Hardwick, R.I.P. because he's
Yep.
listed as a writer on most of these as well.
Big part of the show.
Huge part of the show. So you
Great
get
episode
top
for
billing.
Dale too.
Yeah.
Great Dale moments in this episode. I guess
Yes, dude.
before we get into the episode, we
Yeah.
should probably talk about everyone's favorite segment of the show, you know? This is This Week in Arlen, the segment of the show where we talk about what is going on in the world, around town, and beyond. November 23rd, 1997 is when this episode aired. You know how we always start them off is with the TV guide.
Yes. And
What's
I was going to say, if you're listening to this as a podcast for This Week in Arlen, you can tune in to YouTube and you can see all these fun visuals Brad has prepared. You can take a look at the TV guide with us. So
maybe I'll
if you're
start
just listening-
posting the slideshows so people, if you're listening on audio, you can go to our Instagram and I will post the This Week in Arlen's on the Instagram.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You can also see my mild sunburn if you come over. So
Yeah, you can see his red little butt.
you can see my little pink behind. Yeah, dude. Let's take a look at this TV
All right,
guide.
what do we see in here? We got Goodbye, Mr. Chips, The Comeback Kid, Survivors, The River Wild, Seventh Heaven. So that's all on Dateline NBC.
Yeah, there's a lot going on tonight on TV. There's a lot of stuff standing out. Yeah, Dateline is stacking the books.
What is the Tom Show?
I do not recall anything about the Tom Show. It's new.
It's Tom Arnold.
It's Tom Arnold's show. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
That must have been short-lived. Nobody likes
Yes.
him. 14% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh wow.
You suck, Tom Arnold. No one likes you, dude.
Ouch. I like that. That's Survivors. Is that actually? That's not Survivor. That's
No.
Survivors. That's something
Yeah, I
else.
think that came a little later. I don't think
Mhm.
Survivor had aired.
I was gonna say I don't feel like we've seen it before. Standing out to me, The Wonderful World of Walt Disney has got the Santa Claus on. 'Cause
Nice,
it's
classic. It is the holidays.
we're post. Yeah, we're post. Are we
Yeah.
post Thanksgiving here? By
I
this
think
date,
might have been the week of Thanksgiving, or maybe
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is coming up. It's always on a
Yeah.
Thursday. Is that how you fucking weird
I
Americans do
don't
Thanksgiving?
know.
Oh,
I don't
man.
know, man. I don't know if we're pre or post Thanksgiving at the airing of this, but it's definitely holiday time here on the
It's
TV
the
guide, which
season.
is nice to see.
Tis the season for
Mhm.
sure.
What is going on with Hallmark on CBS at 9?
What the deaf
what the
man
deaf
heard.
man heard?
Let's look into that.
Excuse me. Yeah. What?
Oh, I will put up a picture of the poster, but there's a very
Yeah, tell me about it, man.
suggestive
hear?
looking Matthew Modine looking all
Mm.
coy. Let's see. Sammy isn't mute, but no one knows that. After he was seemingly abandoned by his mother at the age of 10, Sammy took a vow of silence. Since then, everyone in the tiny town of Barrington, Georgia, has treated him as a deaf mute. That puts Sammy in the unique position of being in in on the secrets of its citizens, including domineering matron Tynan, played by Claire Bloom, her oafish son,
Oh,
and her sensitive daughter. But what happens when his own secret gets loose?
oh
So it's
my.
a guy who pretends that he
Who
can't
pretends that he
hear,
can't hear?
that knows everybody's little secrets.
It's a guy who fakes a It's a guy who fakes a
It's
disability
very
for
90s
gossip.
Corey.
That's
That's I kind of want to watch that. We love a
I
Hallmark
was gonna
movie.
say that sounds
Matthew
pretty fun.
Modine too. He's
Oh
he's
shit.
famous enough.
Then
Can I
that's
talk
the
about The
Hallmark Hall of
Simpsons
Fame.
now?
Yes, I'm sorry. Tell us about Lisa the Skeptic on
Lisa the
Simpsons this
Skeptic
week.
is a rare standout in season 9 of The Simpsons.
We
It's like
should find that Hallmark movie though.
yeah, I would like to watch
Yeah.
that. It's a good enough episode. Basically, the premise of
Mm.
it is
Good enough.
yeah, Springfield is Snoot.
Uh-huh.
Springfield is like building a new mall or something, and they uncover this fossil of like
Oh.
an angel.
Mm.
It's like a human skeleton with wings, and
Okay,
everyone's
interesting.
like all crazy
Uh-huh.
about it because it's like, what is this? We found like all the religious people are like, it's an angel, and then the
Yeah.
scientists are like, we don't know what this is.
It's a fake cryptid or something. Do you remember those
Yeah,
videos from
yeah,
YouTube where they'd be like fallen angel?
yeah.
Yeah.
Homer ends up stealing it and then making like a sideshow in their garage and charging people to come see the
Wow.
angel. And Lisa discovers that it's a hoax. Basically to like advertise for this mall or whatever. Decent episode. It's decent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah,
Not
that
as good
actually
as
does
this
sound
episode
pretty
of King
funny.
of the Hill, though.
Man, this one's good. I can't wait to talk
This is
about
a
it.
great episode. But
Yeah.
let's
What else
continue
happened this
on
week?
here.
Yeah.
Boris Karloff. It was his birthday.
Oh my gosh.
You know who this is?
The name is definitely ringing a bell.
He's
but
like a
nothing is
horror
recalling of the movie.
movie
Oh,
legend.
is he the OG Dracula?
He was Frankenstein in
Frankenstein. Okay.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Okay, there we go.
And like I think he played Frankenstein like a ton of times. He was in like the original Frankenstein
Wait,
movie
the
and Bride
doctor or
of
the monster?
Frankenstein. The monster, Frankenstein's monster.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
it's Dr. Frankenstein
Yeah.
and it's monster.
Yes. Yeah. Got it.
Uh-huh.
He also did the narration in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the cartoon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
We are a
legendary.
unicorn.
Yeah, exactly. He did the songs too.
It's the Grinch.
Yep. He was 79 years old when he did that.
Wow.
So that was in like that movie came out in like 1960 something, 1966,
Wow.
and he was 79 already. So he's been dead for a fat minute.
Wow.
But it was his birthday.
Rip to a legend.
Rip. It was also this fucking goober ass's birthday,
Oh,
Miley
shit.
Cyrus.
Smiley Miley.
Miley. Not a fan
Yeah.
of her, but it was her birthday.
She
She has a good voice.
I like her newest album. Yeah, she does have a good voice. Her newest album is good. I like some stuff on there.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation came out
Ooh, wow.
on this Friday. Do you remember watching this movie? This movie is so bad.
I have seen clips of it
Yeah.
recycled
like-
on the internet, but I don't have a fluid memory of watching it all the way through.
It's like a so bad it's good type of situation.
Yeah.
Worth watching, honestly. Just look at this photo that I have up here of this devil man.
Honestly, he looks rad as hell. I hang out with
Iconic.
that guy. Yeah.
Iconic. Flubber also came out.
Okay,
this
much more
week.
iconic.
Yep. I have this on VHS.
Yeah, rip to a goat for sure.
Oh, we love Robin Williams on this
absolutely
podcast.
love Robin Williams.
Yes. How could you not?
There might even be, I might even have, remind me to talk about Robin Williams when I talk about our guest star later on.
Is Robin Williams on this episode?
No, there's just a little crossover
okay.
came up in my research.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Big Weenie Style came out.
Oh,
Big
Willie Style.
I never
Nice.
realized like Big Willie Style. It just sounds like he's talking about a big dick. But yeah, Will Smith
would never.
Yeah, Will Smith
Will
kind of
Smith would
sucks,
never.
dude. Will Smith is kind of the worst. I love
Yeah,
his movies.
do
I
love his
love a lot
movies.
of his movies, but like as a dude, he seems kind of whacked out. He's a Scientologist.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. Oh,
Dang, I
well,
didn't
he's
know.
never confirmed that he is, but he has given like so much money to the Church of Scientology
Mm,
I may be just like committing slander right now. I'll
mm.
look that up and if it's in the podcast, then
Parody,
I
parody,
feel
satire, satire.
allegedly in Minecraft, Will Smith is
Mm.
a Scientologist.
Allegedly in Minecraft. Yeah, we're covered. We're good.
Yeah. And then finally, fucking Diddy Kong Racing came out
Ooh.
the
Yes.
following day. So if you were sitting down to watch this episode of King of the Hill, maybe you were coming home to play a little Diddy Kong Racing the
Diddy
next
Kong
day.
Racing.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite Kong? Do you have a favorite Kong?
I like Funky Kong a lot.
You like
I'm a
Funky
I'm
Kong?
a
Yeah, Funky
big
Kong, obviously.
yeah. Donkey Kong Country 3, the one with Dixie, or is that
Uh-huh.
2?
I don't know the OG ones super well.
Oh my God, the OG ones are the best, brother.
Uh,
I think Donkey Kong Country 3 was the one with Baby Kong.
yeah, you like Baby Kong?
I know. I liked the one where you play as Diddy and Dixie Kong. That's Donkey Kong Country 2. Yeah. So like Donkey Kong is barely in that one. You're like going to save DK and it's you and it's Diddy and Dixie together.
Uh-huh. But
And
he
then I
still
think
gets
the
his
third
name
one,
on the game.
well, yeah, it's Donkey Kong
It's
Country.
just got
It's
that
his
much clout.
country.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Donkey Kong Country 3 is Dixie and uh Baby. Kitty Kong is his name.
Oh, Kitty Kong.
There will be photos of all of this on the screen. I guarantee you.
Kongs, Kongs, Kongs,
Kong.
Kongs.
So who's your
Kongs.
favorite? Who's your favorite Kong? Bitch.
I'm a OG Donk man. I'm a Donkey Kong man.
I like Cranky Kong a lot too.
Yeah, Cranky Kong's funny, but Donkey Kong I used to play him a lot in Smash.
Oh yeah, he's a pretty OP Smash.
Yeah, he's good
Character.
if you're like a little shithead button spammer. Donkey Kong is great.
Or Pikachu, that down
or
B,
Pikachu. Mhm.
the thunder move.
Down B. Yep. Nice,
Well,
dude. Exciting
you love
week.
to hear
Flubber
it.
was so good, man. I loved that movie, Flubber.
Yeah. Also, Seth Rogen casting as Donkey Kong in the Mario movie was
Mhm.
spectacular.
Yeah, he did a
I
pretty good
loved it.
job with it.
Everyone but Chris Pratt did a great job in that movie.
I agree. And
All
with
right,
that,
that'll do it for this week in Arlen. Let's get into the episode. I liked this episode a lot.
I liked this episode a lot as well. I didn't really have I don't think I recalled seeing this episode a lot before or really at all before.
It
I don't
definitely
know. Did you have a
like
recall?
it definitely like I know that I've seen it. It like brought back memories, but I didn't have like a vivid recollection of it.
Yeah. I think I would go ahead and call this the first official Bobby and Connie episode.
Yeah. And really
They-
where it starts to explore kind of the dynamic with Joseph too. There's
Mhm.
kind of a triangle going on.
Yeah, I really did like this episode. It kind of feels like a Hallmark movie almost a little bit. You know, it takes place all in one day. It's got, some high
Hallmark movies
drama
take
moments
place all
there.
in one day.
A lot of the times they do. We've seen those.
Huh.
But it's got I don't know, it's really all encapsulated here. It
Yeah.
was a good one. I like this one a lot.
It was good. Let's get into it. Half an hour
dude.
recap. Let's go.
Mhm.
I'm setting a timer.
All right. I'm starting my mowers.
Yes, Chris is now
Uh,
the designated mower man. If
Uh-huh.
you guys haven't noticed it, he's been doing the mower every episode.
It's your boy cutting grass out here. So yeah, it's just a straight theme song open. We get no pre-scene.
Hot open.
Yeah, hot open. We open at the school bell on Tom Landry Middle School.
Tom
And-
Landry,
Tom Landry Middle School.
football coach,
Mm-hmm.
coach of the
Very-
Dallas Cowboys. I didn't know that. I looked it up.
Oh, you didn't know that? You had to look it up?
I didn't know that. I'm not a football guy.
That's funny. Yeah, Tom Landry Middle School, school bells ringing. Bobby and Connie are cutting up in choir, which I thought is very funny. They're kind of
I related to this a lot. That was like the only riz I ever had in school.
was doing
Was, like
parodies.
making people laugh in class was like the
Uh-huh.
only time I ever felt confident. So I'm with
Uh-huh.
Bobby here, and it's working.
Bradley is a bright student, but he's very vocal in class.
Yeah, try that without the bright student part.
Yeah. Bradley's a pain in my ass. And he
Bradley's
won't shut
an
up in class.
absolute little dumbass. They also didn't sound like that because it was Canada, but
Um, Yeah, Bobby and Connie are doing some like little parody songs, and it's super cute. They start to do, and oh, we have a guest star here that I'll talk about in
Oh,
just
is
a
it the
moment. The music
nerdy
teacher.
ass teacher? He gave me
Yes,
Mr. Frond vibes
yes, we'll talk about
from
him in
Bob's
just a
Burgers.
moment. But that super cute Bobby. They're doing My Bonnie. The
My Connie is a
yes,
Laotian.
Laotian. So cute.
He
I,
came up with that off the gourd.
yeah, he did. It was very impressive. So it's just a real cute moment of boy meets girl, little crush starting to happen here. Super cute. But yeah, our music teacher in this scene, well, Bobby and Connie get in trouble
Yeah,
with
snitch
the
ass
music
bitch.
teacher. This is the third time this week. Um, so our guest star here is John Ritter. You know who John Ritter is from
Ah,
Three's
yes.
Company fame?
Three's Company. Isn't he from Two and a Half Men?
He's in a lot of stuff.
Oh, no, no, no. I was thinking of someone else. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
no, no. Three's Company, Eight Simple
yeah.
Rules,
hmm
also
So
another big sitcom.
John Ritter is, yeah, he's very, very well known in the 90s sitcom scene. He's also very well known for guest starring. He guest starred all across anybody's shows all throughout the 90s. So this is right on
Yeah.
track for John Ritter. John Ritter.
He was
Um,
in It,
yes, he was in
the
It.
TV adaptation of It.
He's in a lot of stuff, and he's very, very funny. I mentioned Robin Williams earlier. As I was doing my John Ritter lore recap here, there's whenever Robin Williams was running an improv show, there's some footage of John Ritter and Robin Williams doing improv together on YouTube that you can find, and it's pretty good.
Huh.
John Ritter plays a very good straight man, and a very good, like kind of clean edge, squeaky clean guy. John Ritter is also the son of Hall of Fame musician, Western musician Tex Ritter. Do you know who Tex Ritter is, Brad? Are you into this old style? Yeah, here, yeah, I'll speed it up here. There's a lot of cool tie in here.
I'm just
But yeah,
pulling your dick, brother.
so John Ritter technically a nepo baby, drag him.
They all are. They all are. Get him.
Yes. But John Ritter has got two acting spawns of his own. He has two sons who are currently acting Jason and Tyler Ritter.
That's
So,
maybe who I was thinking of.
yeah.
Oh,
So
wait,
the
no,
whole
he's not in Two and a Half Men. I was thinking of John Cryer.
mm, but yeah, it's a whole acting dynasty for the Ritters. Interesting. Tex Ritter, the grandfather, he also did a bunch of film back in the 30s
Great
and all that
name.
jazz.
Great
Yep.
name.
So John Ritter is going to play this nerdy music teacher. Hank and Con get called in, and they
Khan
meet.
just coming up with the sick ass burns. Like
Yes,
Hank
right,
pulls up.
right off the bat.
He's
So
like, "What are
they
you here to read the gas meter?"
they pull up in the parking lot. Con says that Connie has been framed and he's here to grease some palms,
Yeah.
and asks if Hank's there to read the gas meters. So yeah, this is a great episode for Con and Hank,
Yeah.
which is one of the reasons I liked it. But yeah, Con immediately insulting Hank,
He also
as
says,
he
"Where's
does.
your wife? Is she like being the surrogate mother?"
Surrogate
I feel
mother
like
today.
that's just a case of like mistranslation. Like
hmm
he meant to say
Substitute teacher.
substitute teacher.
Yeah, surrogate mother. Or he just could not care. But yeah, they get into the music office, and they're being talked to, kind of in a weird, like new agey, gentle
Yeah, this is
teachering
where the
way.
like Mr.
But John
Frond
Ritter,
energy came.
yeah. So first of all, I think somebody says something about acting up, but Hank's like, "Why
Yeah.
are you acting up?" And he's like, "We call it acting out." You're like, "What?" So Bobby says to Hank that he was just making up song parodies like Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, this
Hank's
part really threw me for a loop.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah,
look into this?
I did, yes. And the internet and Reddit already has got this pointed
Yeah.
out. But Hank says that Bobby, you don't want to be like Weird Al Yankovic. Weird Al Yankovic blew his brains out in the 80s when people stopped buying his records,
Yeah.
is the joke that Hank makes. Weird Al Yankovic is still alive, spoiler. Um,
Very famously still alive.
yes. Hank, what was your research? What did you find whenever you looked into this?
So I
How
found out that Hank was likely referring to a musician named Dickie Goodman, who was
Dickie
also a
Goodman.
parody musician in the 70s and committed. Did you look up any of his music?
I did not, although I saw
I
some
have a
stuff.
sample here that I don't
Okay.
believe we are gonna get claimed for, but I
Okay.
will
Let's
if
try it.
if you just hear me kind of humming over this, then we're not using the
Okay.
actual sample.
It's us
Um,
fighting with Fergie's lawyers again.
with fucking Universal Music Group. Basically all he does is like say stuff and then
Mm-hmm.
use other songs as like the punchline of his joke.
Yes.
We're here on Skull Island where a 40-foot gorilla has just kidnapped Dwan, a young actress. Hey, Kong, what did you tell her? Tonight's the night. And what did she say to you?
You've got a cute way of talking.
When do you intend to let her go?
After the loving.
That's all of it. That's like the whole
That's
thing.
all it is.
It's just
Nice.
him being like, and what are you gonna do? And then it's just like a little clip of a song. Like
Yeah.
so uncreative, so unfunny.
I read his little blurb there about that as like the kind of comedy laugh track type of thing. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't actually listen to it. That changes my perspective a little.
Yeah, not great.
Just saying.
Brutal. So Hank is wrong. Yeah. Hank says something to the effect of the music teacher, so it's my fault I'm in here, or I think Khan calls him a bad dad. But it kind of spins up here between Hank and Khan.
Well, he tries to get them to both say something nice to each other,
Yes.
and they're incapable of doing that.
Yeah. Hank or Khan immediately yeah, kind of blows it. Yeah, they boil, they're kind of hot heads. They say that there will be punishment. Punishment is coming at home. We move into the home scene.
Wait, before they leave though, the guy, like as Hank and Connor are arguing with each other, the guy's using a harmonica kind of as a
Oh
whistle,
yes, this
and
little pitch
Hank just
pipe.
snatches it from him, and as he's
Oh
leaving,
yes.
puts it up high on top of a cabinet where he can't reach it, which is the funniest fucking shit.
So funny. I wrote that down, but I forgot. I don't know. I just read right over it. But yeah, he's trying to calm him down with this little pitch pipe. So funny. Takes
So
it,
good.
puts it out of his reach, which is like something he does with twiggy gentlemen.
Yeah,
And this
twig
this
boys.
music teacher is kind of a
Yeah,
twig boy.
he's a soft little boy.
Yeah, he's not Anthony Twig Boy, but he's in the same vein. So yeah, we're over at the house. Hank is in the back with the in the alley with the boys, and Dale says that he prefers the psychological approach to discipline. And when Joseph acts up, Dale tells Joseph that he's adopted.
Oh man.
Uh,
There are a lot of little nods to Joseph not being Dale's
yes.
kid in this one, but
Uh-huh.
that
I'll
one
have
especially was like a whew.
yes, I'll have notes for Joseph's parents later on in this episode, but Bill's got a funny line.
Yeah.
Bill says Bill's dad used to punish him by telling him he was a girl. He made me wear dresses. Pretty
Pretty
dresses.
dresses.
Pretty dresses is an episode in season 3. It's season 3, episode 9.
Shit.
It's kind of the episode where Bill has the
Spoilers.
psychological break a little bit.
Yeah, and he
And
puts
he's
on
wearing the
he
dresses.
puts on
Mhm.
dresses. Oh
And he's
shit.
I believe that's where he's Lenore, if
Okay.
I'm recalling
Oh.
correct. Like, I'm Lenore. I think
Ooh.
that's that episode. So he says pretty dresses here, and that's an episode later on. So stay tuned, folks.
Stay tuned, governor.
So yeah, Hank is gonna set Bobby to cleaning out the gutters while Con is getting the mower out for Connie. Hank comes over and immediately
Really?
is like, "What are you doing?" He says, "Mowing the lawn is a privilege, not a punishment."
Yeah.
Hank or Con is like, "I'm punishing her by showing her she could be you." And then Hank says, "That type of permissive parenting is what forfeited your country to the communists."
Yeah. Not the most problematic thing that is said in this episode, by the way.
No, but
There
they're in
is
their-
something later that doesn't really ever get addressed, but
Yeah.
the way that it is addressed is so funny. But sick burn, I guess, Hank.
So Hank and Con are at each other's throats again. Bobby's up on the roof cleaning the gutters.
This is some
uh,
shit that I would have had to do as a punishment.
Yeah.
So dangerous.
He's on the roof cleaning the gutters. Well, they've got a low angled house. They don't have a lot of pitch on their roof. If you
It's
can
still
tell.
not gonna feel good if you
Yeah.
fall off of it.
Yeah. Well, he is gonna get into some trouble up there because he finds some baby birds in the gutter and then gets attacked by a blue jay,
Yep.
which is
Have
very
you ever been
funny.
attacked by a blue jay?
Not by a blue jay specifically. I've
I
been dive
have.
bombed by some birds, but yeah, blue jay's a mean ass bird.
Blue jays are very mean, but they are my favorite bird.
Blue jay's a mean ass bird. Ugliest song you've ever heard. Get off my porch, I'll kick your ass. That's a Willie Carlisle lyric. Moving on. Shout out to Willie Carlisle, folk musician. Blue Jay's a mean ass bird. Anyways, yeah, Bobby's getting attacked by the bird, and Hank and Peggy are down in the kitchen, and Hank's upset because he's making noise. And Peggy says a very funny line here. She says, "Oh, let him dance. He's happy."
Yeah,
Which I
he's just
just
a big
thought
up
is-
there dancing.
She's
Like
like,
Bobby
"Oh,
thinks
Hank,
he's
let him
just
laugh."
goofing around.
He's getting attacked by a bird.
Not like concerned our child is unsupervised on
Yeah.
a roof, but he gets down pretty easily.
He gets down safely. He goes to meet Connie, who is slacking off over at the fence line.
She,
Um,
I think, heard him getting attacked by the bird.
Yes, probably. And yeah, Bobby says, we're preteens. Damn it. And he really puts a lot
Yeah.
of stress on the damn it. But
Yeah.
they're kind of lamenting, parents are always treating us like kids, blah, blah, blah. We should get out of here and do something else.
And you think that
So
this is like the beginning of a romance, but then
it's really cute.
it really
really
just
cute.
goes into Bobby being adolescent and not really
Yes.
like understanding. And he's immediately like, well, we
Mhm.
got to get Joseph.
So we get set up with some soft music here, and it's at the outset, it's kind of Connie's idea to run
Yeah,
off.
she's kind of a
and play
bad
Hickey.
girl.
Yeah, you
Play
definitely
Hickey?
not
Oh,
foreshadowing. Is it?
What are you
But yeah,
doing, step bro?
you definitely get a very like soft adolescence, kind of really charming, cute story
Yeah.
here. But it's definitely Connie is ahead of Bobby here in the
Yeah.
kind of in their like romantic maturity or awareness of a romantic life.
my boy
Um,
Bob is lacking a bit of riz in
Mhm.
the
He's-
moment.
He's still a little baby bird.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bobby and Connie gets on the back of Bobby's bike and they head out, and they immediately just stop in one more house to get Joseph. And Connie's like, I don't like Joseph. He threw a dodgeball at me.
He probably had a good
Bobby-
reason for
Bobby
it.
said, yeah. He says, I'm sure he had a good reason.
Like
So
probably they were
funny.
playing dodgeball. Is my
Yeah.
guess.
So Connie kind of, scrunches up her face, and Connie, I think Joseph suggests or Connie suggests they
Go to the
go to the
library and talk.
Yeah.
Joseph
Joseph-
says they should go touch all the buttons on the
At the
street lights
crosswalk,
at the
which is-
crosswalks.
Very funny. It's like a
Yeah.
less high stakes version of the elevator button push. Just
Yeah.
like pushing crosswalk buttons.
And Bobby is into both ideas.
Mhm. But Bobby wants to go watch TV at Circuit World or whatever.
Yeah. Which neither of
Um,
them are into.
Yeah, but Joseph has got a great idea. Joseph wants to go to the caves. Ooh, the caves.
It'll be
so-
like sneaking into an R movie.
Yes, Connie is like, you've seen an R movie? And Joseph's like, yeah, but the only person naked was Harvey Keitel.
Yeah. Did you look into what that movie could have been?
I did look into that. I believe the people believe the movie is The Piano, starring
Okay.
Harvey Keitel about I think it
Haven't
takes place
seen
in
it.
Australia. It's like a lady and her daughter get stranded in colonial Australia with just a piano, and they have to kind of make it.
What?
Something like that. I don't know. Harvey Keitel apparently is naked in it.
So
but
we
it's
get to
rated
see
R.
that thing, or
It's 90s rated R, so it's probably just
probably
man
not
butt.
Dick, yeah.
It's man
Or
butt.
if it's
That's-
Dick, it's a soft one.
Yeah, you maybe see like maybe sack. You maybe see sack from the back.
Back sack. It's like the new under boob.
Yeah.
Back sack.
Weren't we just texting about how we got downgraded to vulgar language on YouTube?
Yeah, I wasn't able to promote an episode.
Can we say sack from the back on here?
I think we can.
Moving
I think we
on.
can.
Moving on. Joseph has seen an R. Has seen
Do
an R
you
movie.
do you remember the first R-rated movie you ever saw?
It might have been. It might have been the Dukes of Hazzard remake.
That was not
I don't-
rated R, my guy. There's no
It-
way. The one
there's
with
boob-
Jessica Simpson?
There's boobs in it, so
Oh,
it's
Are they
definitely
ju-
rated owl for
Are they-
all right.
are they Jessica Simpson's boo?
I don't think so. Either that or it might, it might have been Caddyshack. I feel like it was Caddyshack. I feel like I saw Caddyshack pretty early in
Okay.
elementary school.
I think mine was Red Dragon, the like
Whoa.
Hannibal. I was like 9.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heavy, dude.
Definitely
I think mine was
definitely
Caddyshack.
should not have been allowed to see that. But the Dukes of Hazzard movie from 2005 is rated PG-13, my friend.
Oh, is it? Oh, well,
Yeah.
I must have seen the director's cut because that's
I don't
not
think there's
booby.
boobs in that.
Oh, well, sound off in the comments. Let us know if there's boobs in the Dukes of Hazzard movie. Um, tell us what your first R-rated movie was in the comments.
Yeah.
The kids are gonna stop at the store to get supplies for this cave outing, which cracks me up. The stuff that they get. Joseph says, "Let's get butane lighters," and Bobby says, "My dad says butane's a bastard gas."
It's really good.
This is so funny. I could just imagine Hank saying, like, "Bobby, butane is a bastard's gas." So they get some candles instead. They get some glow sticks. They get some snacks.
Glow snicks.
Glow sticks. Bobby puts up at last minute some pantyhose for the lady.
Yeah.
Very.
What does he think that is?
I think he's just being silly. I think
He
he's just
got a
being
chuckle from
funny.
her out of it. It was
I
good.
think he's being like, Connie, you're a girl. These are for girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Type of thing. But yeah, funny scene there in the store. We're gonna cut back to the house where Bill and Boomhauer are on the hill's roof, and he's cleaning the gutters. Bill is cleaning the gutters while
Yes.
Boomhauer is getting a tan.
Not the first time that Bobby has just like paid Bill to do his chores
Yes.
also, which is
Uh-huh.
really fucking funny.
That's really funny. We didn't see that scene happen, but I think it's very funny that you could picture that just happening off in a side scene of
Yeah.
being like, Mr. Dotrieve, I'll give you $1 to clean the gutters.
So good.
But yeah, Bill and Boomhauer are up there for some reason, and the kids have run off. Dale also can't find Joseph. He sent him to get his Powerball numbers a while ago, and he can't win it if he isn't in it. But Dale is not concerned about where
Very
Joseph is.
true.
He's concerned about where his lottery ticket
Yeah,
is.
he could win big, dude.
Pretty funny 90s haha child neglect joke. So the adults are going to set off into high speed search mode here. Con is going to come out and realize Connie is gone. Hank says that your little siren led my boy astray. So Hank calls Connie a siren.
That's
And then
kind of offensive, but all
Con
right.
calls Bobby a skinhead.
Yep.
Con says, your skinhead gone too?
Oof.
So just, yeah, they immediately are throwing punches, but yeah, their kids are gone, so everybody hightails it to start looking for them. We're back over with the teens who have found the entrance to the cave, and we get a familiar return character here. Randy, the nerd child,
Yes.
is out flying his remote control plane.
Talk about Twig Boy.
So Randy, I believe, is played by one of the reoccurring Randy, as well as Eustace, his father, the two like kind of wet
Yep.
blanket nerd
Useless
characters.
Eustace.
Useless Eustace. They are both reoccurring, played by Cheryl Holiday.
Ah, yeah,
who's-
we talked about her. She's the alcoholic margarita loving
She's
lady.
she's in the Emmy nod episodes. She's
Yeah.
the Emmy lady. But
Yeah.
also David Herman, who plays a bunch of voices here on King of the Hill. They're kind of this power couple for this season of the father and son. But
Got
yeah,
it.
Randy-
Power couple.
Randy's flying a remote control plane, and he's like, "You're not supposed to go in there." And
They're like,
basically-
shut up, nerd.
They're like, "Shut up, Randy."
Fucking idiot.
Except Bobby starts to get a little apprehensive, and they're like, "You can stay back." And
Yeah, this line from Connie saying, like, you can pretend this is home base.
yeah,
That's so crushing to hear.
yes. Yeah,
Like,
you
you're
can
still
pretend
a
this is home
kid.
base. We also get a little bit of fun. I mean, I just now realized it, but some of the language there in the home base, the adults are going to be talking about
Yeah.
the first, second base, Hassan Pate here in just a
Yeah,
little
later
bit. So,
when Hank and Con are trapped.
but yeah, they kind of call Bobby a chicken and get him to go into the cave. But yeah, the parents are all split up looking here, and we get it's going to be Hank, Con and Dale, and then Peggy and Min are looking together, and
Yeah.
Peggy is speeding,
And
which
Peggy says maybe the most offensive thing that anyone has said in this show so far to men.
before she says that very offensive thing, she does say when my heart races, my Buick follows, which I
Yeah.
think is pretty funny.
And Min is like,
Uh,
look at my hand. It's
steady
steady.
as a Monet water lily. Yeah, and then Peggy
That's
says
really good.
she says it's easy for you Buddhists to be calm.
Yeah.
And then what, Brad? And then what?
She basically says that like if Connie dies, she's just gonna get reincarnated as like a ladybug or something.
Yes, I had that written down as well. That
And then it just cuts to Peggy coming home and being like, Min decided that it would be better to look from a taxi. So Min
yes,
got so offended by that she was like, pull the
drop
fucking car over.
drop me off or I will kill you, Peggy Hill.
Which
It's
I don't
so
blame
funny.
her.
I don't blame her. And it's kind of funny that they off screen that whole
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah,
Like
it
we
made
say
the
something
joke
funny.
funnier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really
that was
did.
the point of it, I
Yeah,
guess. But
it was
Luann
pretty
is
strong.
watching Via Con Dios.
Yes, this is Luann's only appearance in the episode. It's a real brief Luann
This is our
appearance.
first appearance
Uh,
of that show, right?
Diaz, Los Dios y las noches of yeah, what's his name? I can't remember.
Oh,
But
the
yeah,
show
this is
isn't called Via Con Dios? Or is that just his
that's his
catchphrase?
catchphrase. Yeah, there's a different it's Monsignor Martinez. Yeah, it's like the days and nights of Monsignor Martinez is like the
Okay.
name of the show. But yeah, this is gonna I think our first
Interesting.
glimpse of this soap opera that they watch, and it does come up and get a little more traction. This is one of my favorite little like asides is the soap opera.
Yeah.
But
Luann's
yeah,
like, sit down, watch TV for a minute.
yeah. And she's like, Monsignor Martinez rented a car in the name of those sweet babies. And then you see like
She
they
just drives it off a cliff.
drives it off a he's got the babies. He doesn't drive
He's
the
got the
babies off a
babies,
cliff,
yeah.
but he just like commits insurance fraud under the name of these
He's got
children.
the babies.
And he's a priest. Very funny. So yeah, that's our quick Luann.
Yeah, not
Um,
enough Luann. That's my only gripe
yeah.
with this episode.
Yeah. So back at the cave, the teens have found the split in the road, and one side goes to the boneyard.
Which is a great
Uh,
name for a place that teenagers go to have
A
sex.
great place. Yeah, very funny. They even though, like Joseph and Connie are a little bit more with it in their romantic maturity here, they still don't necessarily pick up on that it's the boneyard, I don't think, because Hank or Bobby and Joseph have some back and forth about
Yeah.
it's either the place where young people go to make out or old people go to die. And Bobby is like, what if it's the other way? And
What
it's
if you
where
mix
old
it
people
around?
go to make out and young people go to die.
Super
Um,
good.
very funny. Um, they do kind of make it up into the boneyard. Oh no, that's not quite yet. We cut back to Con calls Hank a hillbilly really quick. Very funny. I think they were like going to look at the comic book store and they weren't there. And Con suggests going to look at the
Yeah,
music
the
store.
sheet music store. And then they
Uh-huh.
bump into Randy and Useless coming out of the hobby store.
Yes, yes. Very, very funny here. They ask if they've seen Bobby and Connie and Joseph, and Randy is like, why? What's gonna happen to him? And I think Hank is like, I'm gonna tan their hides, and Randy immediately snitches and he's like, so
Yeah.
I'm going to the caves.
He's like, I did the right thing.
I did
And
it.
then
I
I
did the right
told them
thing. I
not to
told
do it. And
I
then the
told them
dad
not to
is
do
like,
it.
we're in the clear, I guess.
Yeah, he says, you heard him, Hank. We have no legal responsibility.
Yeah.
So funny. So yeah,
Useless.
shout out to Randy and Eustace. Very, very funny bit parts in this episode. But yeah, back in the cave, the kids have made it to the entrance. Bobby is gonna slip though.
Yeah, and Joseph pops that shirt off.
Joseph takes his shirt off to give Bobby a hand, and that's how we get shirtless Joseph for the rest of the episode.
Yeah. No, he puts
which-
it back on at the end.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we're gonna get this. This is the first. I think you mentioned it earlier. The first glimpse where we get a kind of a juxtaposition between the maturity levels of Joseph and Bobby, physically. Although later in the show, their maturity levels socially are kind of flip flopped. Once
Yeah,
they kind
Joseph
of
like hits
get into
puberty, yeah.
yeah, Joseph hits puberty. That's a whole big portion of it. But yeah, this is really the first juxtaposition, and I think this is really the first episode where we get Joseph being a main driver of the story.
Yeah, you can definitely tell in this moment, like where he like helps Bobby up and is kind of like being the brave one, that Connie is losing interest in Bobby and gaining interest in Joseph.
It's all like I was saying earlier. It's like a whole movie. There's a whole. It's a whole thing. Start to. There's a lot. There's a lot of
My
change in
life, a
this episode.
movie.
The distance traveled over the amount of time. It's a long distance traveled, but it's a short amount of time for this ep. Um, I loved it. It was a good ep.
There's a Frampton Comes Alive
Frampton Comes Alive
reference.
is graffitied on the wall. They find
They have no idea who that is.
they have no idea who that is. They find a Playboy, which they haven't seen before.
Yep.
And Connie is like, "Ooh, I hope there's an article by Norman Mailer."
Yeah, I looked him up. I wasn't
Uh-huh.
familiar with his work, but
Yeah,
he
he's
is
a beatnik.
he's the winner of Playboy's Best Major Work in Fiction award.
Yeah.
And I guess he wrote a lot of articles for Playboy. And I
Yes.
always read it for the articles, Chris.
Yeah. He continues to read it for the articles, folks.
Yeah.
But
Still have a
yeah,
subscription.
yeah. Norman Mailer was a pretty influential American writer from the kind of beatnik era, post-war era,
Yeah.
counterculture type era.
They read a
Yep.
little excerpt about like heavy petting.
Yeah,
and
they read a joke.
Connie and Joseph both laugh, and then Bobby very obviously fakes laugh,
Fakes
and
a laugh.
they give him the like, oh, he doesn't get it.
Uh-huh.
And he
Bobby
says, I'm
says,
starting to get
I'm
things.
starting to get things, which was very sad and very cute. Um, yeah. They find a bra, which is very funny.
Yep.
And Joseph, they like, here, you can use this, Connie. And Connie's
He's starting to realize what's going on here.
yeah. Connie says thanks like in an upward inflected tone, not where she's being like, ha ha, thanks. She's like, thanks. It sounds like
Yeah.
it kind of sounded like she was excited. It was funny.
Yeah.
It's real funny. But Bobby, in an attempt to kind of impress Connie, is gonna fall on his face here. He's gonna say, like, Connie, I found this for you too. And it's an empty skull can.
I'm a skull man.
He tries to do what worked for him at the beginning of the ep and what
Yeah.
used to work for him with Connie, which was a little song parody.
Yeah.
And it's not working on Connie anymore. Not with
There's
shirtless
a
Joseph
time and a
around.
place for a parody song.
One,
Yes.
if you can hear me up there, what advice do you have for someone who was kidnapped by a 40-foot gorilla? Thank you, Dwan. Dwan, okay.
So bad, man.
Was that more Goodman?
It was
Wow.
more of Dickie.
More Dickie Goodman.
Our
More the
boy
Dickie
Dick,
Goodman's charm.
the Dick Man.
But Connie is not impressed. She's like, yeah, sure, that's great, Bobby. But yeah, Bobby's starting to flounder here. The candle is gonna go out.
Yeah,
Connie's-
this part was kind of crushing.
Yeah, this was a little sad. The candle goes out. Bobby remembers he's got glow sticks, snaps them, shakes them. When we get the soft green light, Connie and Joseph are holding hands. That's where we go to our second commercial break. There is kind of on this. Bobby sees it and is kind of in shock.
That's rough. It's rough
yeah.
for my boy Bob.
Yeah. That was our second commercial break. I forgot to mention where our first one was. The second act was very short. The first commercial break comes after Randy tells them not to go in the cave because Randy gets nailed by his airplane.
Yeah.
And
good that they bump back into them at the hobby store when Randy's buying a new plane.
He's got a fresh plane and he's got like a patch over his eye. Yeah, so it's a very funny throwback. But that was our second commercial break, was after the candle goes out. We cut back to Dale and oh shoot, maybe I didn't write it down where the parents decide that they're gonna go check the caves, but
well, that's when they talk to Randy and Eustace. They
yes,
find
you're right.
out, and then Hank and Con and Dale go.
We literally just talked about that. I'm an idiot. Yeah. Randy told him he snitched.
Yeah, but when we get back, it's Hank, Con, and Dale going into the cave, and Dale gets scared.
Dale can't see because his
He has his
sunglasses are on. Yes, extremely funny.
They tell him to go like alert their wives, go to alert Peggy and Min, and he's like, "Am I to assume that Nancy should continue worrying?"
So funny. Dale, he's only got a few lines this episode, but it's very, very, he's very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, they send Dale to and Dale is going to like drive frantically through the alley,
Yeah,
like
I'm just
weaving,
yelling Mayday.
yelling Mayday. Yeah, it's extremely funny. Everybody comes in looking, and we get a
John
shot of
Redcorn.
Nancy runs out of the house, and John Redcorn runs out and zips up his pants.
Zipping up his pants.
Extremely funny. Which here's my beef for the episode. I do have beef this episode. I have beef with both Nancy and John Redcorn for this episode.
Because they're cheating, or
No, not because they're cheating.
oh, you're fine
I'm-
with that?
My main beef one is primarily more with Nancy. Yeah, we'll get there. Primarily with Nancy, but mostly with John Redcorn too. They're the only ones not looking for the kid. Obviously, John Redcorn can't necessarily be seen openly looking for Joseph.
Yeah.
Nancy,
Do they know at that point that the kids are missing?
I
I would
mean,
presume that
maybe-
Nancy maybe hadn't told them.
I mean, yeah, maybe Dale doesn't let Nancy know that Joseph is missing, which is probably a Dale thing to do.
Yeah.
So maybe we can give Nancy some credit that she doesn't know that
I mean,
Joseph
she
is
is-
missing.
Cheating on her husband.
But whenever I watched this, what I thought in my head was Nancy knows that her son is missing and she's cheating.
That
So
would be way worse.
I got a little bit chuffed at Nancy and John Redcord for
Yeah.
not looking. And they eventually do join the search, but I do suppose I can give her some grace. You might be right. She might not have known. I
Yeah.
could see Dale just not telling her.
Benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe Dale like wouldn't tell Nancy because he'd be scared that he lost Joseph or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, I'll simmer down my beef with Nancy. I'll give her an asterisk on my beef. But yeah,
Yeah.
they Peggy exclaims that that is where half of Arlen's unplanned pregnancies begin, and we do get a
Yeah.
look between
A very
Nancy and John
knowing
Redcorn.
look between
Mhm.
the two of them. It's like,
So,
yeah, maybe that's where Joseph
canonically-
was conceived. Joseph went back to the place where he was
He went to the
conceived.
womb, dude.
Oh,
He went
that's
to the womb.
nice.
I know. I thought that too.
That's nice
Um,
for him.
So yeah, maybe he was conceived in the caves. Yeah, Peggy is like, we gotta go before I am in-laws with Min. Peggy does not want to be in-laws with Min. Min probably doesn't want that either. But
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants that.
Hank and Con get to the fork in the road, and the kids destroyed the sign earlier.
Yeah, and
So
Hank
they
doesn't
don't
quite
know-
remember. Yeah,
Hank
which
doesn't
way
remember
to go.
which way is the boneyard. There's a real funny sound clip here of Con just saying, "Take me to the boneyard," which I thought
Yeah.
was kind of funny in isolation. Take me.
We get
to
a
the
really
boneyard.
quick scene of Bobby like depression eating, and he eats all the
Stress eating,
chips.
yeah, he eats, and he's just like doing the string cheese off his finger.
Yeah, and he says he's gonna die friendless and alone like Weird Al Yankovic, and offers
Mhm.
for them to eat him if he dies first. And
Yes.
Connie is for some reason like impressed by that,
She says, "Bobby, that's so sweet."
and he's like, "I
yeah.
got to do it for your kids too." And then they stop holding hands with each other.
Yes. It's very, very sweet that Bobby offers to sacrifice himself for them. I also had one other note here. The green light for the rest of the scene is just kind of a really fun ambiance.
The
to this
shadows,
scene.
yeah.
It's a good visual scene. It's cool.
I've said this a ton of times. The animation in the show at night or like in dark spaces always looks really good.
hmm Yeah, I agree. I liked it here. The green light was cool, and it just made me think of a bright glow stick. Very evocative.
Yeah,
Very
they've got the
evocative.
glow things. Hank and Con have like flares, which like
They
why
have
wouldn't you
flares.
just bring a flashlight? But
Yes.
go off, I guess.
So all the adults now are gathered around the entrance to the cave. Nancy is pretty worried, and Peggy is like, "There's nothing to worry about. I'm sure they're not exploring each other's bodies."
Yeah, and Dale is like, they've been in there for too long. There's nothing lovers could do. They could possibly
Yes.
take this long. And John Redcorn
John-
kind of burns him.
John Redcorn says, "Yes, if you only consider your needs."
Yeah.
That was my number one joke of the episode is
Yeah.
where Dale says there's nothing lovers could do that takes that long, and John Redcorn roasts him, and Peggy or Nancy immediately is like, "Oh my god,
I'm gonna get a beer. Do you want a
She
beer,
says-
hun?
yes." She said, "I'm gonna get a beer." She says, "Honey, do you want a beer?" And both Dale and John Redcorn go, "Yes."
And then you think that Dale is like, why would he say yes too? But he's like, how did he know I wanted a beer?
Yeah, we cut. Yes, so that was that whole interaction there was
Excellent.
just the best. Yeah,
Spectacular.
just classic. They both answer. Yeah, how did he know I wanted a beer? So good. And this is like still in the part of the show, and they were real in the first season. The humor with the infidelity was like extremely tongue in cheek,
Yeah.
and Dale was like super gullible, and they've just kind
Yeah.
of like leaned into that,
Yeah.
which I really really loved. Instead of being like, "Ooh, this is kind of like a weird dynamic. We should stay away from this." They like gas pedal
Yeah.
so hard
Yeah.
on the Nancy and
It's
John
pretty in your
Redcorn.
face in this episode in particular.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
really funny moment there.
it's so funny. But yeah, we're back. We're back into the cave. Hank and Con get stuck squeezing through a gap.
Yeah, a bunch
Con,
of trash down there, just beer cans.
Con is upset because this is his 41st birthday, and
Just
this wasn't how
casually
he
throws
planned it.
out that it's his
Yeah,
birthday.
it's his birthday, and he's
That's so
41 years
sad.
old. Con relents that he's not actually worried about Bobby. Bobby can't do anything. He says Bobby's not going to harm anything until, puberty, or worst he can do is a hickey. I think
Yeah.
he says before puberty. He's more
Yeah.
worried about Joseph, but he does tell Hank that he thinks Bobby is a good boy. So again, in usually the episodes where we get Hank and Con butting heads, usually it does relent and they find common ground and,
Yeah. Which they
achieve
did
their goal.
here also in talking about second base.
Yes, when they're talking about second base, because Khan kind of asks like, "What do you define as second base?" They're starting to bridge the
Yeah.
cultural gap here.
Yeah. And Hank is unable to say it
He can't
because
explain it. Yeah.
the voice
Um,
crack in the delivery of that line was really funny.
yes. Um, yeah. Hank's real uncomfortable, but yeah, Khan starts to talk about his kind of sexual awakening here. His pas on pate. Did you look up
I didn't look
any of
up
the
if that was
Laotian
an actual.
translation?
Is that actually a thing?
It is Laotian, yes. It kind of translates to like sexual education or a sexual educator. Like
Okay.
I think you can, like a pasan pate can also be like, it's an experience. It's like a two-person type of thing. I don't know, but it's
Huh.
kind of like a sexual awakening type of
He
thing, or like a
mentions that he did it on spring break, which is
spring
that a
break.
thing in Laos? They
Yeah,
have they have
spring
spring break.
break. Two of three guys are monks. You
Yeah.
try not getting some pasan
Yeah.
pate.
It's really good.
And then he starts to laugh. I really love it. Khan's like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah. And then the
And
kids can hear them laughing.
the kids hear the adults laughing and they just kind of like fall into it. They're this way, and they just kind of like fall into the trash cave,
Yeah. I
which I
did
thought
like
was
the
very funny.
scene of like Bobby crashing into the cans and like looking
Mhm.
up all excitingly at Hank. Like that was a
Yeah.
sweet moment and like they all hug and then Hank just gives Joseph a handshake.
Hank says, "Hello, Joseph." It's so funny. Yeah, hello, Joseph. But yeah, they're stuck. They're like, we'll wait for the fire department. Joseph and Bobby are putting cans into the hole, and Hank's like, Bobby, don't do that. It's littering. And Bobby's like, it was already littered. It came from up there.
And then they
Um,
get hit in the head with a can.
they get hit in the hand with a
And
can.
it's the guys from above drinking beer. And it's so
Uh-huh.
funny, like thinking of that, of like, okay, Boomhauer's definitely been here before. He knows where the hole where you toss the beer cans is. So it makes so much sense that he would toss a can down there, and then that's how they would realize that they can get out that way. Like that's
Yeah.
just really good writing.
It's very nice how they get out. It's all
Yeah.
this episode's got a great bow on it from beginning to end. There's not really a lot of
Yeah.
loose strings. It's
Tons of
yeah.
like callbacks.
Mm-hmm.
The
And if
story pacing is like almost perfect.
yeah. But yeah, Hank's like, hold your fire, and then we get always a funny Boomhauer thing,
Yeah.
because the way he talks, but then they'll do the joke where like
I can't
he's
understand a single
something
thing you
else is
say.
yeah, something else is happening that is making
Yeah.
it to where they can't understand
Yeah.
Boomhauer, not the way he talks, but like it's the echo they think where he can't
Yeah.
can't hear
So funny.
Boomhauer.
So
Um,
funny.
yeah, very funny. Talking about dang old Hank in the boneyard. So good. But yeah, the fire department comes and they pull the kids out with a winch. We get a fun visual
Bobby's got
moment.
like a harness, like a full body harness. He looks like when
They're
they like lift
pinataing his
cattle.
ass up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then
Like,
Peggy jumps on him
and it sinks
and
him
it
back down.
sinks. That visual, I'll throw a screenshot up again, YouTube, if you
Very
like to see
funny.
visuals. Uh, so funny.
Yeah. Very good
Best
visual.
visual of the episode for sure.
Yes. Very wholesome here at the end with, the fire department and all the parents and all the kids are getting rescued. But Peggy is like, okay, Hank, put Bobby's bike in the trunk and buckle him in the back seat in the middle facing us. And this is a very nice moment here because Hank doesn't baby Bobby.
Yeah.
Hank is like, no, he's a preteen. He rode his bike here so he and Joseph can ride their bikes home.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really good of Hank. And maybe a first guess would have been like, oh, Hank's gonna lay into his son, but
Yeah.
he's
Good dad moment.
yeah. Hank has a good dad moment here. Hank's
I
really
mean,
in
I
the
would be
back
kind of
seat.
proud of my kid if they like were off doing cool shit with the lady friend.
Yeah, this type of behavior is almost a little bit anti Bobby. It's kind of like have you seen The Sandlot?
Yeah.
You know how in the beginning, the scenes before Squints is like playing
There's all the
baseball,
sand,
there's all the sand in the lot.
and when there's all
Um,
the sand everywhere, and they're like, "Oh shit, what are we gonna do with all this sand?"
they move it to the lot.
Yeah.
But the mom in that movie, she like basically tells her kid, she's like, I want you to sneak out of the house. She's like, go get out of here, go get into
Yeah.
trouble. So yeah, they get into some safe trouble. All's fine in the end, except for using the fire department's resources, I guess. But
Yeah. They're
um,
not doing anything else, probably.
yeah, it's a legit rescue, I suppose. Shout out to the Arlen Fire Department, I suppose. Um, Hank or Bobby and Joseph, excuse me, are riding their bikes home. Bobby tells
Connie
Joseph
doesn't
that
get to go.
Connie doesn't get to go.
Con is still overbearing and doesn't
Uh-huh.
doesn't allow her to go.
Well, he does take her to get ice cream. He says,
And
"Let's
a
go get
tetanus shot.
and a tetanus shot," which is smart.
That's also a really funny moment.
Yeah. But yeah, he doesn't immediately lay into her here. He's like, "Let's go get some ice cream and we'll get you taken care of." So yeah, it's very wholesome here at the end. But yeah, Bobby and Joseph are riding home.
Sweet
Bobby,
moment between them too.
very cute here. Bobby and Joseph. Bobby's like, I think Joseph, I think she likes you, and Joseph's like, "Nuh-uh, she likes you." The
As soon
minute
as you
s-
offered to let us
the,
eat you.
yeah, the minute you said we could eat you, she was yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Women
very
just
cute.
have trouble choosing between guys
Yeah,
sometimes.
Bobby is like, well, maybe she likes us both. And Joseph piles on and he's like, yeah, women have trouble deciding
Women
sometimes.
be shopping.
He says they like to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah. And then
Which is,
Bobby closes with a sick underwear joke. He
yeah,
says, what were you eating under there? Joseph
underwear.
says underwear. Boxers or briefs.
Boxers or briefs.
Fucking absolutely classic.
Classic.
You gotta love it.
Yeah, real wholesome. And then no post-credit scenes here. It's the end
No
of the app.
posties. So that means that it's time
Time to take
to
it to
step
the
into the
alley.
alley and talk about the episode.
Let's get into it, baby.
I'm gonna buy you a drink.
Okay. I loved this episode.
I loved this episode too. Super cute.
Every part of it was great. I love when Hank and Con team up. I love a Bobby and Connie and Joseph moment. We had some good jokes from Peggy and Min and the Alley guys. Like there was pretty much like a good line or joke from everybody
Yeah.
in this episode.
Yes, I was a big fan of this one. Yeah, it's super cute, especially when we know what's coming with the whole Bobby and Connie thing. It's like really
Yeah.
exciting to be like, oh, this is kind of like, they kissed in the finale
Yeah,
of season 1, but it
they're
was like a
taking their
spin the bottle
time
thing. Yeah,
with it, which I like.
yeah. So I'm excited to see the Bobby Connie storyline come in here. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the kids are off doing their own thing. The parents are doing their own thing.
But the
Yeah.
stories interconnect, like the B plot ties into the A plot really well. They end up in the same place, and both storylines are resolved in the same place.
Yeah.
Which is just such a satisfying feeling of an episode.
Yeah, it's very, very, very cute. Very cute.
This
Loved
one's a
it.
6 out of 6 for me. This is 6 beers.
Yeah. Yes, I will say this is also 6 for me.
Oh, no way.
Yes, it is. It is.
You know what that means, folks? The show's over. We're never doing an episode again. I'm in your walls, Chris.
Just
Just
kidding.
kidding.
We're still over on the Patreon.
Yeah. We do
yeah.
we record every episode. We say all the exact same shit, but we're nude.
I
Oh
will
no,
say
that's the
this.
OnlyFans.
Ooh,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. Patreon is different.
This is a 6 for Chris. I don't know if I would call this a 6 for everyone else though.
I
don't
would
know.
recommend this episode to someone who's never seen the show.
Oh, you would? I mean, I definitely would.
It wouldn't be the first episode I would recommend to someone, but I think that just in general, this is a really good episode of TV.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives you enough of every character to understand what's kind of going on.
I don't think I certainly wouldn't downgrade it beyond a half a beer if I was going to ask anybody else to view it, but I don't know. I feel some of my high rating here feels like it's just like a little bit of a personal soft spot for me, not that there's anything about the episode.
No, and that's what this is all about. It's all about your personal feelings. And for me, I'm pounding down a 6-pack.
It's drinking 6 of them on a Sunday.
I'm getting sloppy on a Sunday for this episode because it was quite good. This whole season so far has been impressive.
It's bangers. Yeah,
season
2 is very good. We're almost halfway through it. We're a third of the way through it, a little more than a third of the way.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been good. This super nice guest star on this one, John Ritter.
Yeah,
very cool.
A very subtle guest star. I love
subtle,
that.
Extremely
you love to
subtle.
see it. Well, cool. Sounds like we're both on the same page ranking wise. Should we just keep it going and hit us with our Hill Kings, brother?
I think we should.
God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, 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 dang it, Bobby, 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 dang it, Bobby.
Okay, you all know what it is at this point. We crown the MVP of the episode or whatever, the Hill King, the king of the hill. Who was best in the episode? I am gonna go with a first for me. I think maybe a first for the whole show.
Yeah.
I think this may be the first time that Joseph gets
Take
to
it,
be Hill
Joseph.
King. I'm going with Joey.
Yeah.
I liked that this was the most that we've gotten of Joseph in the episode. I like that he was still very innocent, but like the dynamic between the whole little love triangle thing going on. We had some good jokes. He felt like kind of the glue of the episode to me.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. He's kind of the secret sauce here.
Yeah.
I think he's he's a real wild card. I love Joseph. Good pick.
Going with Joseph, rounding out my picks. I'm not going with Luann for every episode.
I know. I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you. I don't think I've chosen Luann yet, actually. Give it time, though. Manger Babies is coming up.
I'm excited for that. I thought about taking Joseph too, just because this was one of the first ones where we get him driving a lot of the story. He's mostly been like side character or punchline, but this is where he's doing a lot of driving. So I thought about Joseph for sure. I think for me, I am going to go ahead and take Khan.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to take Khan because his lines are absolutely savage.
Yeah.
The first thing he says is that he's going to bribe school officials, and he asks Hank if he's there to read a gas meter.
Yeah, and the surrogate mother thing.
The surrogate mother thing. Yeah, he calls Hank.
And when he's like, don't explain what home base is, you'll have an aneurysm.
Yes. He he insults Hank by telling him that he's going to instruct his daughter not to be like Hank. It's just
he's quick with the burns.
The Hank and Khan episodes are always very funny because they're always just so butting heads and grinding. And Khan was just so sharp in this. But we do eventually see him and Hank. You know, he breaks down. They bond. You know, he doesn't immediately punish Connie there at the end. He, you know, is sweet to her. So yeah, I'm taking Khan here.
Cool. You love it. First con of the season?
First con? Yeah. First con of the season. We might have
we had I had con in an episode last season.
Yeah. Well, this is the first Joseph.
First Joseph.
Yeah.
That's nice. And that'll do it for the segment. That'll do it for this episode.
Yes.
appreciate everybody being here and
Tune in,
listening and watching along.
Yeah, tune in again next week. We've got season 2, episode 9, The Company Man, which is very funny and
Ooh.
has 2 really nice guest stars in it. It's a good ep.
Okay, I'm specifically not gonna look, and I'm not
Yep.
gonna learn anything about it because I like to be a little
Yeah.
bit surprised.
It's a cool ep. There's a fun one. I liked it.
All
Enjoyed
right,
it.
I'm excited. Well, you all can tune in next week whenever we talk about that episode. In the meantime, you can go follow us on Instagram at Hill Kings Pod. Send us memes. Tell us what you think. If you're
Tell us what your
listening,
first R-rated movie was.
yes, we would love to know. You can comment that on YouTube. We're over here on YouTube. You can see our faces. You can see reference and screenshots for the episode, as well as little gags and
You can watch This Week in Arlen.
Yep. I will start posting that on social media as well. So if you want to listen along and just kind of see the slides that we're talking about, you can go to our Instagram. That's at Hill Kings Pod. Again, rate, subscribe, leave a review. That's very helpful for the audio
Yes.
for the audio nephews out there. And you know how we always end the episode, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
We always say, and welcome.
That's a pasta. To the back.
The back.
Yeah. It's been so long since we've recorded. For a second there, I was like, wait a second, do we actually say something?
I gotta go finish building a deck.
Big deck energy.
Yeah.
I gotta go make some pizzas. Oh, sick.
Kings Podcast.
Woof.